November import prices number. It's out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. They're forecast to rise 1.1%. Now, the U.S. government will auction off the first offshore oil leases in the Gulf of Mexico today since last year's BP spill and the resulting 6-month ban on deep water drilling. The sale, which starts in New Orleans at 10 a.m., covers about 20 million acres of space in the outer continental shelf.
Yeah, still with, of course, George Jarkesy, president of Jarkesy Company, Mark Dow. Mark, a little bit earlier, George was saying that dealing with the U.S. household debt was far more important than any impact we're getting on from regulation or politics, which was a point that you were making. So just come back to what Mark had to say.
Well, I think that Mark has not thought it through from a perspective of small business. Small business employs about 80% of private sector jobs in America, and the U.S. government has $1.7 trillion of regulatory burden on U.S. businesses, and that makes them not competitive to export and makes things more expensive. When you have a $14 trillion GDP and you're spending $1.7 trillion on U.S. government regulation, that's a burden. The other thing, though, that's happened is from the uncertainty perspective is you've got a small businessman in the United States who has this regulatory environment that has increased dramatically in the last couple years. You also have things overhanging it like health care. So the small businessman is looking at health care, looking at taxes, looking at regulation, and as he looks to his 2012 budget, he's trying to figure out, could he put more capital in? Could he spend more money on marketing? And with all of the uncertainty and all of the added burden from regulation, that stifles that small business from spending, which stifles hiring, which stifles, you know, the group that hires and employs 80% of Americans. Yeah. And you look at things like, for example, coal. 10 years ago, China was using 600 million tons of coal. This year they'll use about 3.6 billion tons. America, 10 years ago, was using 900 million tons of coal, and today's using about
George,
the same.
I want to get Mark's response to what you have to say. Mark?
Just real quick, I hear that, but the plural of anecdote is not data, right? And the data tell us very clearly that it's a demand problem, it's a household debt problem. The Fed, the San Francisco Fed did an economic letter this January. I recommend people look it up. They went into the districts in America, the counties that had a high increase in debt over the bubble period, and those that didn't. And it shows that economic activity, lending and investing included, normalized in the areas where they didn't have a buildup in debt, and they didn't normalize. They stayed flat in the areas where they had a lot of debt, against the same regulatory backdrop for everyone.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there, guys. So you'll just have to disagree for the moment. George Jarkesy, president of Jarkesy Company. Mark, good to have you on the programme today as well in London. Enjoy your week here in the build-up to Christmas. Mark Dow, portfolio manager at the Faro Fund. Just worth pointing out, euro-dollar today, because we didn't show you, was just a little bit weaker as we went through these auctions. We're down just still over that 11-month low at 130, Jackie.
And that's it for today's show. I'm Jackie DeAngelis in the United States.
And I'm Ross Westgate here in Europe. Squawk Box is up next. Whatever happens, we hope you have a profitable day. Goodbye for now.
Business Intelligence. CNBC. Do you know which country upgraded its economic growth forecast in 2011? Georgia. Which country is not only one of the safest in Europe, but is the easiest in which to do business in Eastern Europe and the post-Soviet region? Georgia. And do you